Hey guys, thanks for checking out my channel. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, and this is a review of Snowday, which I sadly now have to preface the 2022 version. I'm a blind film critic, and this is available on Paramount Plus with audio description. We've remade Snowday. This is a remake. This is not just... It's not like the title was so simple that somebody just stumbled across and made another Snowday. No, we found it important to remake Snowday. I love how IMDb, the little write-up, talks about Snowday like it's a comedy classic. And I'm like, is it? I was around for Snowday. I was in high school when Snowday came out. Granted, I know that film was aimed at a slightly younger audience, but I was still what would be classified as a kid. I was a minor when that film came out. So, yeah, I don't feel like that film defined my age group at all. And it's so bizarre because I'm like, who... Okay, so this film was aimed at young kids. It's a Nickelodeon production, so they're aiming it at I would say 7 to 12-year-olds. Feels about right. Maybe 13. They don't really expect... this is not aimed at older teenagers. I don't think they actually seriously think that people in high school are watching this. They actually kind of even dumbed it down. They made it like actually more for middle school and elementary school age kids than what I remember of the original film, with starring Mark Webber, who played a little bit older. These kids feel really young, even younger than that. So, yeah, this is aimed at really young audience, and I don't know that those kids have had the opportunity to watch the original Snowday. I don't know that they care that this is a remake. I don't know that any of that really matters to them. So to them, this is just the first Snowday that they've gotten to see. So it's just a movie about Snowday. But it follows the plot of a group of kids that are granted this beautiful snow day where they don't have to go to school. And they try to extend it into a second day by spending the first day trying to stop the street cleaner from clearing the streets. That's basically the plot of the film. I mean, there are side plots. There's way more side plots than this film would ever need. These characters go off and do these things. There's like these two kids that like each other, and the girl's like, I thought you knew dance was important to me. And he's like, but I have a football game. My dance is important. It's just like, oh my God, what is going on in this film? And there's a kid that literally his entire story arc revolves around, he's handcuffed his parents together to force them to spend time with him on snow day. But like, the one thing he wants is the perfect pancake. So, like, we keep checking in on him so that they can get the perfect pancake. And it's just... Anyway, this film makes absolutely no attempt at trying to get adults interested at all. Rob Hubel is the biggest name here, which, when you consider Chevy Chase was in the original, they made an effort to try to get adults in the theater. They were like, hey, parents, bring your kids, because Chevy Chase is in this. We paid Chevy Chase. Here they're like, Rob Hubel was in our price range and willing to do this. And it's a musical. And the thing is, it calls itself a musical, but it's not really a musical, because in musicals, a film is plotted out, and songs are put in places where they cohesively tell the story throughout. You know, you're like, there's like a musical number every so often. Here, the musical numbers kind of are actually very front-loaded, and then there are long periods in the second half of the film with no music. Where they just go about their daily lives. It's like, at the beginning, they're all about like singing and dancing and doing High School Musical stuff, and then in other scenes they were like, I don't know how we write a song for this scene, so they just don't. So they just give up. Like I feel like all the songs were in the first half of the movie. There's one that like closes out the film, but there was a huge chunk of the film that just went on with no songs, no singing, just nothing. And when they do sing, they've auto-tuned these kids to hell. That thing used to be called pitch correction, and it was originally intended to reduce the amount of studio time so that people didn't have to spend hours getting that perfect recording, the one that that just every note was hit perfectly. I remember watching the documentary Sound of 007, and Shirley Bassey talks about how many times she had to do Goldfinger in the studio, and until she just got that perfect note. And pitch correction has sort of come along and was intended to sort of fix that, so that way, if you have like a recording you would consider to be like 98% solid, you can just tweak that note and nobody's gonna notice, because when used properly, you really don't notice. Now we just put it on everybody like it's a sound effect. Like we want everybody to sound like they're androids, just wandering around in some sort of weird robotic voice. And people are getting so used to it that they don't even know when people are being auto-tuned. It just has become like, no, that's the way I sound. It's like, that's not the way you sound. That's auto-tune. They're doing that as an effect on your voice. It's gross. And it's not what would happen if you were performing live. You wouldn't be a live Broadway performer in a musical being auto-tuned. So I didn't like the music in this. I don't know why we remade Snowday. I felt like we aimed even for a younger audience than what I remember the first film. Granted, if you think I've watched Snowday more than once, you have seriously underestimated me. I mean, Snowday was fine when I saw it the first time in theaters. I remember going, this movie is fine. I don't need to see it again. And just kind of like walking away and be like, good enough. And yeah, I've only ever seen it once. I haven't needed to revisit it. I actually forgot Chevy Chase was in it. The only thing I remembered was Mark Webber, and I remembered Chris Elliott. And that was it. And that's my impression of Snowday. So the fact that we have felt the need to create a new version of this 20 years later is bizarre. It's like Nickelodeon was looking at things that they own the rights to, and somebody was like, hey, did you know we own the rights to Snowday? And they're like, oh, we should do something with that. And nobody stopped them. Nobody said no. Why? Why would we do something with that? Nobody remembers Snowday. I don't think it's a classic. I don't think people run around, I haven't heard anybody talk about Snowday in years. And suddenly, all of a sudden, it's like, they're treating it like it's some sort of like, oh, thank God we made another Snowday. Like it's a Christmas Story Christmas, like, thank God we're revisiting these characters. What would have been more interesting would have been if literally anyone from the original film had decided to come back. Like if Mark Webber had played the dad, where Rob Huebel's character is, that would have been interesting. That's the movie I would have been like, okay, well, this is cute at least, because now Mark Webber's grown up and he has his own kids and they're experiencing their own Snowday. There's no attempt at that. There's just whatever. This is just a thing, and if you can remember any of the songs in Snowday, good for you. If you sing any of them, more props. I can't remember. I remember there was like I Hate Kids, sung by the guy with no name. That's the the driver, the road clear driver. Anyway, yeah, I didn't like this at all. And I've given some good scores to some kids' products this year, and I try to look at it and I go, is this good for kids? I think kids could like this. believe it or not. So I can't totally torpedo this because I have to think about, does this film work for kids? Sure. Um, maybe. I don't know. I didn't think it was particularly funny. And I think it has too many plot lines that it tries to diverge into other directions. It's not so focused on the actual snow day. There are people who are doing things that they could do literally in any movie, any other time, like exploring their relationships and stuff. But they're not exploring it in a way that you would on a snow day. They're just like complaining about things in ways that you couldn't on any day of the year. There's nothing specific about some of these storylines. Um, so I I don't necessarily want kids to see this because I want kids to stop becoming used to hearing autotune on voices. I would love if we could get back to actually hearing people sing. But I think it puts an unrealistic expectation on kids who want to grow up and be singers about what their voice should sound like. And I think there are kids that are trying to make themselves sound like they have autotune on their voice, which is, you can't really do that. They're using a program. They're running it through a program. Anyway, I don't. It's a mess. I don't like it. And sure, yeah, Nickelodeon, you win. Maybe some kids will like this. I don't know. But there's certainly kids who didn't see the first Snow Day because that film is not the classic you think it is. So I'm going to go ahead and give Snow Day a C-. I wish I could go lower, but I could see some potential in here for some kids, but me personally, I would go lower. It does have audio description, and the audio description was okay. I wish I could have focused more on the audio description so I could talk about it. I just spent the whole film just kind of going, oh my god, oh, no, why am I watching this? I was just so tuned out throughout most of this. It didn't do anything for me personally. I'm acknowledging by not torpedoing the grade that I think kids could enjoy it. Maybe. I don't know. If my kid was listening to Snow Day in the other room, I'd be like, can we watch something else? Please. Please. I'll buy you an Xbox. Anyway, that's it for me. So please subscribe. I'm still trying to get to 100 this year. I'm like less than 10 people away. So this is totally an achievable goal. I just need everybody to click subscribe that has not subscribed already, and I'll get there. I'm sure there are 8 random people who are going to watch my videos between now and the end of the year. So that could be you. And yeah, I also have a website, macthemovieguy.com. You can go to the audio description project, adp.acb.org. It'll let you know what has audio description where you can watch it. And you can go to the adna.org where you can look up your favorite films and television shows and see who does the narration for them. I will go ahead and review something else for you guys, and I will see you on the other side.